Hi everybody, Thomas here, and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday, the 19th of October, and you know what that means. Mailbag here with about half a dozen or so items in it, so we'll get through these pretty quickly. I hope you all had a terrific weekend. Who did the Dewey's 24-hour readathon? Who did it? I did it, I guess, within the proper parameters of what was, acceptable. I may have cheated a little bit. I napped for a while during that afternoon, and so I kind of made up for that a little bit on Sunday. And then also on Saturday morning, I did that game recording that I mentioned in my previous Dewey's announcement video. But I did manage to finish Cameron Hurley's book, Empire Ascendant. I didn't make all that much headway on the Dark Forest, sadly, but I did start Radiance as well. So progress is being made, and so hopefully you'll see reviews of all of those pretty soon. I can't really do like a solid 24-hour stretch like I used to, when I was a younger man, but that's okay. It was still a lot of fun to participate in. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the books and see what this week's mailbag brings, shall we? Okay, this week looks like it's going to be a mix of Penguin Random House and Tor titles. And this first one is a Penguin Random House package with at least 2 items in it, so, Alright, and the first package consists of a couple of DAW hardcovers of titles that are already out. I had to, put in a request for these. Remember how I've said in the past, sometimes you gotta shake the tree a little bit with Penguin, but here they are. This is a new book by Bradley Ballou. It's called 12 Kings in Sharakai. Bradley was an author who debuted with Nightshade books, back right before they had their big implosion, and I'm glad to see that he has landed on his feet with this new one. Like I said, it's already out in stores right now, and I flipped through this and there's no sell sheets, so I'm just going to have to read this bit here. It's book 1 of something called The Song of the Shattered Sands. Sharakai, the great city of the desert, center of commerce and culture, has been ruled from time immemorial by 12 kings, cruel, ruthless, powerful, and immortal. With their army of silver spears, their elite company of blade maidens, and their holy defenders, the terrifying Asirim, the kings uphold their positions as undisputed invincible lords of the desert. There is no hope of freedom for any under their rule, or so it seems, until Sita, a brave young woman from the West End slums, defies the king's laws by going outside on the holy night of Bet Jair. What she learns that night sets her on a path that winds through both the terrible truths of the king's mysterious history and the hidden riddles of her own heritage. Together, these secrets could finally break the iron grip of the king's power if the nigh omnipotent kings don't find her first. Lovely cover, lovely edition, as you see. But this is Bradley Ballou, 12 Kings in Sharakai. I think the UK title for this is just 12 Kings. UK publishers have been doing this thing of shortening titles lately, and it's kind of odd, but this is out right now from DAW Books. And this one is also already out. This is a new military SF from Tanya Huff. It's called An Ancient Peace, and it is the first in a new series called Peacekeeper. Gunnery Sergeant Torin Kerr had been the very model of a Confederation Marine. No one who'd ever served with her could imagine any circumstance that would see her walking away from the Corps. But that was before Torin had learned the truth about the war the Confederation was fighting, before she'd been declared dead and had spent time in a prison that shouldn't exist. Before she'd learned about the beings who were really behind the war between the Confederation and the others. That was when Torin left the military for good. Well, I'd do that too. That's a good choice. But she couldn't walk away from preserving and protecting everything the Confederation represented. Instead, ex-Gunnery Sergeant Torin Kerr drew together an elite corps of friends and allies, some ex-Marines, some civilians with unique skills, and together they prepared to take on covert missions that the Justice Department and the Corps could not, or would not, officially touch. Torin just hoped the one they were about to embark on wouldn't be the death of them. Okay, so she doesn't like the Confederation, but she likes what they represent, and she will quit their military but work for them independently. I guess there's a logic to all that, because Tanya Huff is an old hand at this military SF stuff, but in any case, if you're a fan, new series beginning right now with An Ancient Peace, and it's out in bookstores now. Okay, and this one looks like a Tor title. Okay, I guess this is my week for getting stuff that's already out, but that's okay. I got this a few weeks back, of course, in ARC form, you saw it now. In case you weren't aware, there is this bright new up-and-coming talent. His name is Brendan Simmerson. And, well, apparently he has a book, so you should read this book, because it's all about shadows and stuff. So, anyway, thanks, Tor. It's good to have the final copy for the permanent shelf, and I'll try to get a review up pretty soon. And here we have another Tor title. And this is a new book by David Drake. It is the latest in an epic fantasy series of his called Books of the Elementals. And apparently it is inspired by the myths and magic of the classical world. His readings in Latin of the classics of ancient Rome and Greece, it says. So Air and Darkness comes out on November 3rd. And, well, again, because we're several volumes in, I don't want to read too much by way of spoilers. But it says, Corylus, a soldier, emerges as one of the most compelling heroic figures in contemporary fantasy, battling magicians, spirits, gods, and forces from supernatural realities. Corylus and his companions from the family of the nobleman Saxa, especially Saxa's impressive wife Hedea, and his friend and Saxa's son Varus, must face constant and deadly and soul-destroying dangers, climaxing in a final battle not between good and evil, but in defense of logic and reality. Okay. Current fans of David Drake, as well as fans of epic fantasy, will find much to enjoy in this saga with a twist of ancient mythology. So, if you like David Drake, and if you like epic fantasy rooted in historical myths, then here you go. The new volume, Air and Darkness, comes out November 3rd from Tor. Okay, and another Penguin Random House package, but I'm guessing this one is going to be a Del Rey title. And the Star Wars onslaught continues. This is Battlefront Twilight Company. The author is Alexander Freed, and this comes out on November 3rd. So, you know, they've really been cranking out the Star Wars books lately because of, you know, of course, the film, and then this is the new game, Battlefront. And, you know, it's really, really sad when you find out that such a huge portion of the fan base, maybe it's not huge, maybe they're small but very, very noisy, but a substantial portion of the fan base of this venerable property are just such a bunch of bigoted frickin' morons. You know, it really is the case. First, there's Chuck Wendig's Aftermath, which came out and immediately everyone freaked because it had gay characters in it, oh my god. And now there are a bunch of extreme loser racists who are tweeting a hashtag to boycott the new movie, you know, because it doesn't have a white man in the lead. It has these girls and, you know, brown people putting their horrible cooties all over Star Wars. I mean, some idiot on Twitter actually said that because the new Star Wars movie doesn't have a white male protagonist, that it is promoting white genocide? I mean, I swear, how big of a complete fucking mindless muppet do you have to be to say something that stupid and believe it? There's only two explanations for that degree of stupidity. Either, one, you were dropped on your head when you were a small child, or two, somebody held you by the ankles and swung you with great force against a cinder block wall. That's the only explanation for that level of stupidity. How about you guys just find a volcano to jump into, all right? Because if you refuse to grow up and join the real world, you're not really contributing anything of value otherwise. So, Star Wars Battlefront Twilight Company comes out November 3rd from Del Rey. And the final package here is a big one from Penguin Random House. And we're probably, let me guess, what could this be? I'm not going to guess, I'm just going to open it, hell. And it is the finished copy of the young adult novel Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Now, you'll remember some months ago I actually got the ARC for this, and the ARC was also a hardcover. Amazingly bizarre. I mean, they're really, really putting a whole lot of effort into it. It had this kind of clear acetate dust jacket on it, just like the regular hardcover does. I mean, amazing. They're really jumping into this massively. But this comes out on the 20th, so tomorrow. Finally, it's the first book in a trilogy. Illuminate is a game changer, they say. This morning, Katie thought breaking up with Ezra was the hardest thing she'd have to do. This afternoon, her planet was invaded. Well, that'll teach you something about proper perspective in life. The year is 2575, and two rival megacorporations are at war over a planet that's little more than an ice-covered speck at the edge of the universe. Too bad nobody thought to warn the people living on it. With enemy fire raining down on them, Katie and Ezra, who are barely even talking to each other, are forced to fight their way onto one of the evacuating fleet with an enemy warship in hot pursuit. But pursuit by battleship is the least of their worries. Their fleet's artificial intelligence, which should be protecting them, may actually be their enemy. And a plague is slowly ravaging the fleet with terrifying consequences. As Katie plunges into a web of data hacking in search of the truth, she realizes that there's only one boy, who can help her bring everything to light. And who do you want to bet it is? It is! You guessed it, it's her ex-boyfriend Ezra. Boy, had me guessing there for a second. All right, well anyway, hey, could be fun. As you see, the book itself incorporates like a lot of design into, you know, the actual narrative. So, you know, there's kind of weird graphical stuff going on, page layout tricks. So I'm wondering, I mean, I'm hoping it's not one of those situations where the gimmick just completely overwhelms the entire book, but still, could be fun, could be interesting. No idea what to expect. But it comes out tomorrow, Illuminate, the first volume in the Illuminate Files, young adult apocalyptic space opera romance adventure stuffs. Okay, everybody, that is it. That's the mailbag for this week. Interesting batch of stuff. As always, you know the drill. Let me know in the comments which of these books looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize in the review queue. And otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, please leave a like, share the video with everybody in the world, and above all, please subscribe. That is how SFF180 grows as a channel. Past 1,500 last weekend. Very grateful to all of you for that. Let's take it to 2,000, okay? So, until I see all of you guys next time, happy reading.